declined to compel Parliament to fast-track legislation on the recall of members of Parliament, ruling that lawmakers should be allowed to complete the legislative process without interference from the courts. Linda Alela reports.
The decision reinforces the constitutional principle of the separation of powers, with the court affirming that each arm of government must independently perform its mandate. In a judgment delivered by Justice Roslyn Aburili, the court held that the petition was premature because the National Assembly is already considering the Election Amendment No. 2 Bill 2024, which seeks to operationalize the constitutional right to recall elected leaders under Article 104(1) of the Constitution. The judge emphasized that while Article 104 of the Constitution grants Kenyans the right to recall their elected representatives, that right cannot be exercised without enabling legislation passed by Parliament. The ruling also means that the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission cannot independently develop recall procedures, as doing so would amount to assuming Parliament's legislative role. The case arose on August 21, 2024, after a group of petitioners sought to initiate the recall of the Tharaka Nithi senator. However, the IEBC responded on September 9, 2024, stating that it lacked both the legal framework and, at the time, a fully constituted commission to process such a request. The judgment comes at a time when public calls for greater accountability from elected leaders continue to grow. The absence of a clear legal framework has left voters without a practical avenue to remove underperforming members of Parliament before the expiry of their 5-year term, unlike members of county assemblies whose recall process is already provided for in law. For now, the court has made it clear that the next move lies with Parliament, whose legislation will determine just how and when Kenyans can exercise their constitutional right to recall members of Parliament. The National Assembly is set to conclude the debate on the Elections Amendment Bill, and once enacted, IEBC will be able to implement recall procedures for members of Parliament. For TV 47, I'm Linda Alela.